Good morning. My name is Dimitri, and I have a fairly decent record collection. Years ago, I did a YouTube video showing off my record collection. I've since archived all of my old YouTube videos, and since it's been years, I have more records now. So I thought that I would remake this video and show off what I got, because I have some interesting stuff in there. I was gonna hold up the pile to show y'all, but I don't think I could lift it as like one pile. So let's get into it. I have quite the mix of old, new genres, so this is gonna be a really odd mix of things here, and it's in no specific order. So, Mozart, the last 6 symphonies. When I first started collecting records, I went through a phase where I would buy any record in the thrift shop that even remotely was something that I could possibly like. So I had quite a few classical music records and like big band records. I recently pruned some of those out of my collection because why? But for whatever reason, I kept Mozart. I like Mozart. My favorite composer, however, is Tchaikovsky. AC/DC, For Those About to Rock. Still got the sticker on it for $4. Hot take, I like AC/DC. I know that nobody goes out of their way to listen to AC/DC because they're very repetitive. But the thing is, they know that. There's a quote from Angus Young where an interviewer was like, how do you feel about some people saying that you've made 11 of the exact same album? And Angus was like, actually, we've made 12 of the exact same album. They found a sound that worked, and they went with it, and I respect them for that. There used to be a record store near where I grew up that would have good albums in decent condition for cheap. Unfortunately, it was an antique store, and the whole antique store closed, which was very unfortunate, because I didn't know they were closing, so I couldn't clean them out of their records. But AC/DC. This one is probably the weirdest one I have. This is a test press of the EP If Only by Lilac Queen, a shoegaze band that has not been together for several years now. I pre-ordered this EP, and when I pre-ordered it, they were like, all right, you will receive the vinyl in, I think it was 2 to 3 months. 6 months later, I emailed them and was like, hey, any updates? No pressure. The record company, it had nothing to do with the band. I emailed the record company and I was like, hey. And they're like, hey, there's a wicked backlog of records. It's gonna be maybe another 1 or 2 months. And I was like, okay. Another 6 months later. Actually, it was longer than that. It might have been like 8 or 10 months. Longer later, I emailed them again and I was like, hey, any updates? And they were like, oh, we're still super backlogged. Do you want a test press? And a test press, this is the only test press as far as I know. That's what they said in the email. And this is a test print to make sure record is correct, that when you play it, everything is good, it plays the songs right, stuff like that. So I have a test press, which, yeah. So there's that lore. Cyndi Lauper, she's so unusual. I have a few albums that somehow the plastic never made it off of them, even though I buy them used. And I never took the plastic off this one especially, because it still has this sticker on it. Also on cassette. I don't know. I wish I knew how to tell when my records are from. Like, not when the album came out, but when these were printed, because the sticker is intriguing to me. Elton John's Greatest Hits. This one, I know I bought used, and the sleeve is in pretty good condition for being used. Usually used records are beat to shit. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Mardi Gras. What do you know about Creedence Clearwater? Got a bunch of these I forgot I even had. Alright, I put on a sweatshirt because I was chilly. Best of the Beach Boys. This one's beat up. The Greatest Hits. It's got that old record smell. Squeeze. Sweets from a Stranger. I love Squeeze. They're a sort of niche 80s band, sort of. I love them. I love Squeeze. This is $5. Guess what? More Squeeze. Squeeze singles. I don't know why I still have the sleeve for this. This is Billy Joel, 52nd Street. This is one of the first records I bought. I bought it at a thrift store, and it was warped. It couldn't play. I mean, it could, but it was just awful sounding. I hung the record on my wall. Like, I put a tack through the hole in the middle. That record's been gone for years. I don't know why I still have the sleeve. This is a Nat King Cole compilation, and the sleeve is broken. But it was 99 cents. Led Zeppelin, self-titled. You know what it do. She's in pretty good condition. I don't know how old this is. God, I wish I knew. I wish I knew how to tell, like, when the record was made. Queen, A Night at the Opera, with some kind of mystery stain on it. This is one of those bad boys that opens up and has the lyrics inside. I love that about vinyls. Just like the art that you can include. American Beauty, American Psycho by Fall Out Boy. This album got really mixed reviews, but I love Fall Out Boy, so this is the inside, which is weird. This is the back. This one also has some kind of mystery stain on it. What was I doing to my records? Did I, like, spill coffee on a bunch of my records? Talking Heads. This was given to me as a Christmas gift, and the person that gave it to me told me that this is from the original batch of records. Like, records are produced in batches, and this was in round 1 when this album came out. So, very cool. The Grease soundtrack. Oh, dear Lord. I just caught that between my knees. This has seen some better days also. Here's the back. I love when it's a twofer. 2 records. 2 records, 4 sides. This is from, there's a bookstore in Provincetown, Massachusetts that has like one single crate of records on the floor. And this is from that. It was $3. What a steal. Radiohead, OK Computer. Still sealed because my record player is currently broken. I play records on old DJ equipment. Like, it's a turntable, not necessarily a record player. So it doesn't have its own speakers as a part of the record player. It needs external speakers to be hooked up to it. The way I had it set up was I had the turntable connected to an old radio, and then the old radio was hooked up to speakers, and the old radio shit the bed. It would like randomly turn itself off and whatever. And the speakers also were barely working, so I had to get rid of all of that. So now I can't play records as of right now. I need to get new speakers. So she's unopened because I got this after that all happened. This album is hard to find in physical copies. It's rather expensive. I don't remember off the top of my head how much it costs. This is my favorite Radiohead album. I super love it. And I'm not going to open it for the purpose of this video, but it looks like it has some cool shit inside. You know what? Fuck it. I am going to open it. Life's too short. It's not like I care about resale value or anything. That's not why I have it. I have it to listen to it. So, what's the point in keeping it sealed? Okay. Let's do this together. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, here's the sleeve. Oh, there's a surprise. Hold on. Oh, she's a twofer. This is the other record. I figured there's a reason she's so thick. And that makes sense. We have another unopened record, Drain, Living Proof. Drain is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, hardcore bands. I saw them in Baltimore like a year and a half ago, and it ruled, and I crowd surfed for the first time. So, Drain. Where to record? And She's pink. Oh, I just dropped the sleeve. Oh, and I just dropped the cover. Look at her. Also unopened. I believe this is the record store day version of this album, I think. I'm not 100% sure. This is Boston's first album, their self-titled album. I fucking love this album. That's literally the record right there, by the way. Siege. This, I didn't realize this was even in this stack. This is a 45, which, if you're not familiar with 45s, it basically is one song on each side. Depending on the length of the song, like this one has 4 because Siege's songs are so short. I got this for free. Siege is a power violence band that is often credited with kickstarting the genre. I know one of the founding members of the band. He's an older dude who's kind of taken a liking to my friend group, and one of the band members gave this to me for free. Bon Iver for Emma Forever Ago. I love this album. It's absolutely fantastic. Tubular Bells. Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield. Listen to Tubular Bells. Just a little bit. It's super long. This shit is scary. It's scary. Like, just give it a listen. It's haunting. Editor's note, I can't believe I didn't mention this in the original video. Tubular Bells is one single 25-minute long song. Mike Oldfield was 17 when he wrote it, and if you listen to it, you'll find that it's very familiar. The intro was used as the intro to Exorcist. The beginning of Tubular Bells, yeah. Only the beginning, because the song is 25 minutes long. But yeah, it's really neat, and it's so haunting. Just listen to the whole 25 minutes of it, dude. It's wild. 17 years old? Jesus. Mike, you're a legend. Disintegration by The Cure. This is another double whammy. This is the inside. That's the back. I believe this is the most money I've ever spent on an album. This is my favorite The Cure record. I saw them live a while ago. They were fantastic. They were super good. The show is way longer than I thought it would be. I figured it would be like normal concert length, maybe a little shorter, because, I don't know, they're old now. It was the longest show I've ever been to in my entire life. Grand total, including the openers, I think it was like 4 hours long. Those motherfuckers just did not stop. It was very good. And you know what this part is? The venue that I went to is, you know, like stadium seating, but it goes up a hill, and at the top of the hill, it's just the grass, and that's like general admission. You just sit up in the grass, you can barely see. Like the nosebleed seats, but you're sitting on the grass, literally. Those tickets were $35. Robert Smith threw a tantrum at Ticketmaster and was like, I will freak the fuck out. If you tack a bunch of fees onto this shit, I will freak out. And so they didn't. Another editor's note, the very first time I listened to Disintegration, I was 20 years old. I was working on a tugboat, and it was an absolutely beautiful day outside. The sun was shining. I was in Portland, Maine, and I was in the harbor. It was beautiful. It was green. There were sailboats floating by and people waving at each other, and I could hear people talking and laughing across the way. I think there might have been like a restaurant on the water, and I put my headphones in, and my task at that day was to paint the side of the boat, like a section of it, and I had heard Disintegration was a good album. I had never heard it, and yeah, just painting the side of the tugboat in Maine, listening to The Cure. It was awesome. It was the perfect first listen to that album ever. Chicago. This album has seen some shit. These Mysterious Stains are not from me. I got this at a thrift store. She's supposed to be a twofer, but she's missing one. That's why it was $2. Are you ready for the absolute insanity you're about to see? I want you to prepare yourself emotionally. Look at that. Are you shitting me? This is Holy Diver by Dio. I absolutely love Dio. Look how tough this is. This is the record store edition of this album. There truly is no tougher vinyl in the history of the universe. That's just a fact. I don't know why this is loose. I feel like it had a sleeve at some point, and I don't know where it is. This is the Blues Brothers soundtrack. Bachman-Turner Overdrive, Not Fragile. You know a band is tough when they're wearing a sports jersey on stage. Bastille, Bad Blood. This album has a special place in my heart. You may know Bastille as the band that did the Pompeii song, Eh, eh, ooh, eh, ooh. That song was their first single, and it came out, that song blew up in 2014, 2015. The song actually came out in, I don't know off the top of my head, it was like 2012, 2013. iTunes used to do the free song of the week. I don't think they still do, but I don't know. And every week it was a free single from a relatively unknown band, and for Bastille, that was their first song they were going to put out. And that's how I discovered a ton of new music. And so yeah, that's my OG. I knew them first. Also, I saw them live, and the frontman, Dan, really can hit those high notes in real life too. If you're not overly familiar with Bastille and you only know them from like their hits have been their more upbeat, radio-friendly songs. I would give that first album a listen. It's a little weirder, it's a little darker, it's a little more like alternative pop. I really like that first album, and I don't think that their like popular hit songs convey how good that album is. Station to Station, David Bowie. This one's a little beat up, and it has someone's name written on it in Sharpie, so I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Caroline, if you donated a beat up Station to Station, it's mine now. Paul Simon. Why is he so close? Bro, back up. Pretty Odd. This is my favorite Panic at the Disco album. Billy Joel, Songs in the Attic. Another terribly beat up Beach Boys. Why are these Beach Boys records getting obliterated by time? Mystery Stains, that's alarming. Wow, great concert. The Kinks, Sleepwalker. Freaky ass album cover. Magical Mystery Tour. I also got this album at that same antique store. Beatles albums are hard to come by. This one has a fun little book with pictures. Beatles albums are hard to come by because Beatles fans are like crazy collectors, especially older prints. I remember this being reasonably priced, maybe like $10. Rocky Horror Picture Show. This came from the same bookstore in Provincetown, and this was like $3. I found the Blues Brothers sleeve. Why she got separated, I don't know. Black Sabbath. I don't know why this came in a plain sleeve. I don't know where the original sleeve is. This is how I got it. But Fall Out Boy, Save Rock and Roll. I don't know why she's so little. She's a dual album, and she's red. I love when the vinyl is something other than black. I think that's really neat. I don't know why she's little. Also, however you feel about Fall Out Boy, this album cover is tough as hell. I think these two are brothers in real life. Vampire Weekend, Modern Vampires of the City. The first two Vampire Weekend albums remind me so much of high school. Me and my friends just used to listen to this all the time. I believe this came with a poster of the cover. Don't know what I did with that. And last but not least, I suppose, is the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy. I bought this because it's a good compilation of 70s songs that I like. She's a dual album, 2 discs. That's my collection. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.